Fans of all ages, broadcasting live from the heart of the Duke City. It's time for a great afternoon of sports entertainment talk. Get ready for in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports. 2 Men On, with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
It's Tuesday, Albuquerque. Yeah. You know what that means? Well, that means the boys are hungry for tacos. We're at Rio Bravo Brewery. Thank you, Carlos Tenorio with us. He's starting with his Cookie Monster early in this one. Carlos, welcome.
Howdy. Happy to be on today.
Well, that was it. You had all day to prepare your intro.
And there we fumbled it right there.
You came up with howdy.
Howdy.
Happy to be here today. It's going to be a day for me. Isaiah Johnson back at the station. Isaiah, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm pretty comfortable. I've been here for a little while.
It's like a full day for you.
Oh, yeah. It's great. You get to do the opening drive and then KKOB, and then we finished off here.
Isaiah Johnson said to me this morning, you know, Fred, it's hard to start the day at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. That's unfortunate,
Yeah,
Isaiah.
it is. That's
Hey, it's a little rougher than getting in here at 11.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Welcome to adulthood.
Well, little football practices reminds me of those days. More PTSD than being tired.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, the sound of the alarm. Is what
Yeah, when it's blue outside. Oh.
It's so funny. Speaking of growing up, when you grow up, you get big grown-up paychecks, and that is exactly what the new head football coach of your New Mexico Lobos got. Jason Eck, I have the contract right here, boys. There was a big press conference today, but I'm going to give you what you care about, which is the numbers, all right? So, compensation. Ready? Now, this is base salary, media compensation, and program compensation of year one. 1.15 milli. Pretty good.
All right.
1.2 milli after that. 1.25 after that. 1.3 after that. 1.35 after that. So, it is a 5-year contract, and you saw the escalators there, boys. Pretty exciting for some fun incentives, okay?
Let's hear them.
Appearance to the Mountain West Championship game, $25K. Mountain West Championship, $50K. Mountain West Coach of the Year, $25K. National Coach of the Year, $50K. Non-CFP Bowl appearance, $25K. CFP playoff appearance, $50K. CFP playoff win, including a first-round bye, boys.
Oh.
$50K. You get that natty? You get that college football playoff natty, $100K.
Good for heck.
That's what I'm saying right here. Let's get them with that $100K. And then blah, 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 going here, APR rates. This stuff's kind of boring, but it just says if the team's value goes up, if more fans show up, there'll be splits to and splits to the football program, blah, 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 other stuff. And you're like, Fred, what if he just quits after a year? Okay.
That was going to be my question. What about the Bronco Mendenhall buyout?
Right,
huh?
Yep. It's called the Mendenhall clause. The year one buyout, $4 million.
Okay.
The year two buyout, $2 million. It gets realistic after that, dropping down to $750,000, $500,000, and $300,000. So he's your guy for at least 2 years. Is Jason Eck. I did not go to the press conference today, but we will have Jason and Fernando on before the end of the year, is what I was told by the Lobos. And you guys are aware, I make the exact amount of effort it deserves.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I do not do gymnastics. We are live 4 to 7 most days, 4 to 6 easily. And if over the course of the next several weeks, individuals are not available for this program, that is by choice, not circumstance. And I will note that. But I encourage you, UNM Lobos, do not start this one off the way Bronco Mendenhall did, because what I will do is I will tell you about his character right away.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Mendenhall not joining, that should have been our first red flag, obviously.
To me, it was.
That was one of the biggest red flags looking back at things.
Yeah.
And obviously Bronco leaving to Timu BYU
Nice.
in Logan, Utah. Who the heck needs a Bronco when you have Jason Eck?
Okay.
Is my opinion.
I didn't like that you. Did you read that somewhere? Was that in the Daily Lobo?
No, I came up with. I came up with who.
What
who
the
heck? Who the heck needs a Bronco?
He's
That's
replacing.
going to be in the newspaper.
100%.
Oh yeah.
He's replacing the worst coach in the history of this program.
Really? You're putting Bronco Mendenhall over Mike Loxley?
How many games did Mike Loxley win?
4.
Okay.
In 4 seasons.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. There were quite a few 1-11s in there with
it's
Mike
not
Loxley.
4, is it?
It was. I'm pretty sure it was 4. He had 2 1-11 seasons, and one of them was a homecoming loss to Sam Houston State, who at the time was not even FCS Division 1, I believe. It was Division 2, if I recall. Sam Houston State.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Mike Loxley,
who's their quarterback
at the helm of the UNM Lobos, was one of the worst times. You went from Rocky Long and bowl appearances and beating Colin Kaepernick and the Nevada Wolfpack in the New Mexico Bowl and playing UCLA and Navy and the Las Vegas Bowl to 1-11 losses to Mike Loxley.
2. Yeah, he had 2 wins.
Yeah, to 2 wins. Wow, that makes it even worse.
Is it me or is $25K for the UNM coach to get them to the Mountain West Championship game? That's like a low ball. I think he should get more than $25K.
What?
20? Like, oh yeah. The other things that were named off were all great things as well that deserve 25 and 50. I heard 25 and 50 most of the time, except for 100 for the Natty.
Well, I'm not trying to be that guy, but like if you get to the Mountain West Championship game against powerhouses like
UTEP,
well, Colorado State, Hawaii, Nevada,
in context,
San Jose State, UNLV, Utah State sucks.
You look at the team, the companies or the programs past in context. I feel like the level of expectation in contrast to him actually winning the Mountain West. And the college football playoff should be $300,000 for this guy. When he gets the UNM Lobos to the college football playoff, they're going to the amount of recruits and the talent that would be willing to flood in here would be a complete 180.
It's all going to change. They're going to get rid of conference championships, maybe as early as next year.
I 100% agree with that.
It's the schedule stuff. You have to start college football playoffs a week earlier and you're going to see it on Saturday. Like it's Ohio State's playing. Is that right on Saturday?
Yeah. And Notre Dame plays on Friday.
Yeah. And here's the thing. The NFL's there on Saturday this week. Kansas City plays on Saturday. Like the NFL is going to bury college football.
Oh yeah.
What is that noise?
I think the college football playoff, I think most people, I can't imagine, unless you're a Kansas City fan, I don't imagine any football watcher is going to choose either of those NFL games. Now, if it was a better game, like you put the Bills Lions on that day, then possibly. But the Chiefs, Chiefs Texans, I think I saw.
The Chiefs are a number though.
Yeah.
They are.
Just because it's the Chiefs.
Yeah, so their fan base will watch, but I think majority of football fan at the least is going to be flipping channels.
Or you get one of those split screens on YouTube TV and you're able to watch both of them. I feel like that's probably going to be my move on Saturday, honestly. But with the Mountain West, going back to the Mountain West incentive, right? We got to think that the Mountain West isn't even 2 years from now is not the Mountain West we're in right now. San Diego State's leaving, Boise State's leaving, Colorado State, Timu BYU, Fresno State's gone. So that really leaves what? Nevada, UNLV, us. We're adding UTEP. Reports say that NIU has accepted their offer to the Mountain West, which is that's a good media market there in Chicago. But let's be honest, no one in Chicago really cares about NIU, so I'm not even going to act like that is an amazing get. But you don't have the Boise States of the world in the Mountain West anymore. So,
Well, and to be fair, thank you. The Boise State's the only team that ever makes it to that championship game.
Yeah, it's either
No
Boise
other
State.
team makes it. Fresno State.
Fresno State makes it
Every year. That's
when they
it.
were with Derek Carr and Devontae Adams, even after.
Dog, you going back to 2013 right now?
I do remember those days. Yeah.
Like, are we talking about 11 years ago?
Well, I'm
That's
saying
what you're talking about?
Yeah, I am, because that's bad Lobo PTSD right there. DC and Devontae carving up the Lobos on national television. But
Isaiah, the last time the Fresno State Bulldogs were ranked and in the Mountain West Championship game, it's whenever the younger brother of Drew Carr, Derek Carr, it's whenever he went out there and played
David
corner.
Carr.
I don't care.
it's David Carr.
God,
David
dude.
Carr's younger brother.
Give me anything in the last 10 years.
Northern Illinois is a good get for football, but I'm
But
not going to. But I'm not.
Imagine the amount of money you're going to spend for the travel.
Exactly, the amount of money you're spending for travel, and who really, and you could probably attest more, Zay, in the Chicago area cares about NIU football when you have Northwestern there, right?
Okay, so that's a very good point. Northern Illinois, I believe it's kind of like one of those situations where they're supposed to be the big brother, they're supposed to be the big school, but Northwestern's just been running things better. But the Northern Illinois fan base, just because DeKalb is so huge, the Northern Illinois fan base stretches out farther.
Well,
than
it's a worse school though. Like it's easier to get in. Like
yes.
Right.
It's like New Mexico State
could go there.
Yeah, it's like New Mexico State.
You know what Northwestern does? They produce doctors
and great broadcasters.
Very different. No, it's not. I mean, it's not Mizzou.
I mean, the suburbs. It's Northwestern everything. Northwestern medicine.
Yeah.
That's
the one. Everything about it is better, including athletics.
You don't see NIU playing at Wrigley Field, one of the greatest cathedrals in North American sports.
They got that big win. They had that big one at the beginning of last year. I forgot who they
Notre Dame.
They beat they beat Notre Dame. And then before then, I mean, it was Jordan Lynch. And after he left the school, I mean, it wasn't much of a pull at all. He is the coach, one of the coaches there.
I need the two of you to put some respect on Danny Woodhead's name.
He's a Northern?
I thought he was a Northern. I don't really know.
Fact check right here, right on air. Yeah, no, NIU is football only. That is not they're not here for basketball or anything else. They're football only.
He went to Chatham, so no. Chatham.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on
close.
the same level.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
We got to go to break so we can come back from break. Todd Brown's going to join us after the break. He is the manager. They don't say manager in college. He's the coach of the UNM baseball team. They just have their schedule released. We will have he on the program to talk about that. It is 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610. Me and Carlos are at Rio Bravo Brewery. Christmas parties are pouring in. Tacos are available on a Tuesday. The Sports Animal. Doing my best DJ Cool on the outside of this microphone. Let me clear my throat.
Woo!
Welcome back to the program. Me and Carlos are at Rio Bravo Brewery, where we are watching people enjoy Taco Tuesday. We are jealous, but soon we will be participants. So we are excited about that. Whoop, whoop. Joining us on the phone is Todd Brown. He is the coach of your New Mexico Lobos baseball team, and their schedule is out. And guys, you only have to wait about 5 minutes before baseball starts.
Yeah, it's already here.
Friday, February the 14th. And there you go. So you better have your Valentine's handled before the baseball season goes into effect. Todd, welcome to the program, brother. How are you?
Thanks, you. That was a good reminder. I'm going to have to get, a card for my wife before I leave on the road trip.
That's the move, because you, my friend, obviously tournament play to start the year. That's going to be a lot of fun. But it's going to be a very fun season for you and the baseball team. You got a ton of talent, my man. The ball flies in the Mountain West. You guys are as entertaining as all get up can be. The fabulous end of last season. I could say 100 more positive things, but it sounds a lot better coming from you, Coach. Talk to us about the team. Talk to us about the schedule coming out and what dates that you highlighted.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's, obviously our schedule just dropped. It's really exciting times. We're not too far away from basically our spring camp, as we want to call it, 5 weeks before we open up, and to get our guys into game shape and try to get the rust off and try to figure out some positions. But it's really exciting times. We're excited about the MLB Desert Classic to start off. There's some really good teams in there and playing at some great venues. I think that's the highlight for us, because we get to the Phoenix area. We have a lot of Arizona kids. A lot of parents will be there. A lot of fans will be there. So it's exciting. We lost some good pieces last year, and we knew that we're losing them because they were seniors. And Jay Collin, our player of the year, Reed Spinrath has been a steady Eddie in our lineup, middle lineup type hitters. And I think we did a really good job of filling in pieces, not necessarily trying to replace their numbers with another guy, because that's hard to do, but replacing some guys and upgrading some positions and getting some more offense at a certain positions. And our starting outfield is back. Our corners are back. There's a lot to be said about our lineup. And then you look at our pitching staff. David Lopez threw a lot for us. Vangeli threw a lot for us last year. There's some really nice pieces on the pitching staff, and we stay healthy. I really like our chances.
Coach Carlos Tenorio here. Will Asby coming back. Huge for the program there. Obviously, a big power bat in the middle of that lineup last year. How important is it to have a player like Asby coming back, choosing to come back this season, in this weird world of NIL? How big is that for you to have a good anchor there with Asby?
Yeah, I think he was a big piece to us. And we spent some time throughout the season, towards the end of the season. He graduated last May and got a 6th year of eligibility. So this was a 6th year in college, because in the 21 season, the junior college he was at, they shut down, and so they did not play a full season. So he was granted an extra year of eligibility. So that was great news for us. So now he's a grad student and, hits in the middle of our lineup, first team all Mountain West. And that's the guy that you can build your lineup around, and we're certainly happy Will is back. And Ty Wood, Khalil Walker. Khalil Walker was second team all Mountain West. Those three roam in the outfield. Really gives us a great starting base, and that's what we're building our offense around, is those guys.
My alma mater, Washington State, a member of the conference this year, or affiliate member, pushes the conference to 8 teams. Coach, talk about how important it is just to win.
I tell you, last year, we just finished year 3. We're on to year 4, and the program was down for a number of reasons. COVID had a big reason for, and it's been a stair step. Is from year to 1 to 2, we've improved. From 2 to 3, we improved. Want to now improve on last year. We we had 3 games to go. We're tied for first place. We ended up having to go on the road and finish second place, but that was a big step for us to compete for a championship down the stretch. And now we have some pieces. Adding Washington State, they're a quality opponent. They're going to be good. The most exciting thing about that is adding Washington State puts us at an even number of teams at 8. So we don't have off weekends in the middle of conference play.
So sweet.
That we have to find non-conference games in the middle of April, May that are almost impossible to find. It puts a good balance to our schedule. The exciting part is 6 out of the 8 teams will make our conference tournament. That will be at Sloan Park in Phoenix. Now that the Pac-12 has dissolved and they're not there anymore. So I think there's a lot of excitement around Mountain West baseball because of all this conference realignment that's been happening, and Washington State is a quality opponent.
You mentioned the conference realignment. You have 2 future Mountain West, I guess, competitors coming in on this year's schedule in UC Irvine and Grand Canyon. Can you speak to what those 2 schools add? Oh, not UC Irvine. Sorry, that's UC Davis, but Grand Canyon on the schedule this year. Can you speak to what the future Mountain West teams coming in, UTEP, Grand Canyon, UC Davis, really bring to the baseball here in the Mountain West?
Yeah, Grand Canyon's been in a regional 3 out of the last 4 years. They're a highly competitive top 50, top 60 type team year in and year out. In a non-conference this year here in Albuquerque on a Tuesday, but we're not sure if they're coming in next year or the following year. But when they do come in, when those other school exits, they're going to be a tough force. They really do a good job of recruiting and developing, and they have a great tradition. And then UC Davis, I've had a chance to play at UC Davis maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago at my other school, and they're again a quality program, a lot of good players in California, so they're building a competitive team year in and year out. It'll be a good fun road trip for us to fly into Sacramento, just 20 minutes down the road at UC Davis. UTEP does not play baseball, so they're a non-factor into the baseball world, but it brings some stability to our league and other sports.
Todd Brown is joining us on the program. He is the head coach of your UNM Lobo baseball team. We're talking about the schedule release. Obviously, we're highlighting some of the games in 2025. You were talking a little bit about, Coach, the opening of the season and kind of the opportunity to play on MLB TV and get some real fun, like, national coverage, which is, I think, every college's goal. How do you guys plan to maximize that? What is the plan for opening day versus Austin P? Are we going to get a cool jersey combo? Are we going to get a cool spotlight? Like what's the thing that's going to draw the nation's attention?
Well, it's great exposure for the guys. And one of the things that we've shared with our guys, and I'll reemphasize this as well again to them, is when you go to the Phoenix area, because of all the tournaments that are going on opening weekend, we're going to have every major league team area scout at those games.
So sweet.
This is a tremendous opportunity, not only to be on MLB TV and be a participant in it, but there's going to be 30 out of the 30 major league clubs will have somebody there watching our players. This is a tremendous opportunity for our guys to showcase their skills. And so we're trying to parlay that into how important it is over Christmas break when we're not allowed to coach our players, how important it is that they get in the weight room, continue in the weight room and throwing program, hitting, fielding. And then when we get back to school in the middle of January, 5 weeks to get them better into shape, into game shape, we have to be at the top of our game from the first pitch. Austin P is a really good team. They had an excellent season this year. It's going to be a dogfight right there from the beginning, but our guys are motivated to use this as some exposure for them, because this could help them in the professional opportunities down the road.
Coach, what's the one thing we missed? What's the one thing on the schedule that we didn't bring out of you that you want to make sure the Lobo fan is highlighting?
Well, having Texas Tech, having
that's sweet.
A Big 12 team come to this place is very hard to convince Power 4 teams to travel and come play on the road at your place. And last year we beat them 17-3. They're in April, and I'm sure that doesn't stick very well. I would imagine that that's one that you definitely want to circle. Getting a chance that we talked about, getting a chance to see Grand Canyon coming into our ballpark. That's another Tuesday highlight. And then Washington State coming to town, that's new. So there's some new opportunities of some future additions to the Mountain West baseball or some Power Force coming. Those are all exciting times, and we need as many fans out there as possible.
Do you have a preference, Coach, on noon, 2, or 6?
It depends on which day. When the temperatures get better, night games are a lot of fun. We get better crowds, and that's why we go 6 o'clock on Fridays. Once the temperatures, usually about week 3 or 4, usually start getting into early March, we start to play 6 o'clock on Fridays, 2 o'clock on Saturdays. If you go night and then have a night game, there's a lot of downtime. And so you want to get back out on the field. And then usually Sundays are reserved for noon, simply because of travel for the opposing team.
Yep.
But if I was to pick, and the weather is a non-factor, playing night games is like playing under the lights.
Yeah, there's something special about it.
I love night games there at Santa Ana Star Field. And, you guys got a lot of local talent, Tommy White, Dane Pengali, just to name 2 guys that I played baseball with and against when I was in high school. What should Lobo fans know when they come out to the ballpark this year? And why should Lobo fans come out to the ballpark this year?
Well, I think we pride ourselves on having a complete program. It's our first, we want to win as many games as possible, but we have a bunch of guys on our team, 40 guys that are out there working their buns off to try to make a career out of this and to enjoy their college experience. But these guys do a lot off the field that I'm sure people in our community see. A lot of community events, a lot of things helping out the community. These guys are excellent in the classroom. They do a good job of maintaining their grades. The last couple of years we've had, in fact, the 6 highest semesters of team GPAs have been the last 6 semesters.
Oh, way to go.
Since I've been here. And these guys are getting a 3.4 to 3.6 team GPA, and when you have 40 male athletes, that's extremely high. So these guys are very talented players. We have 5 or 6 guys that will probably go on to play professional baseball. It's a good product, and these guys do things the right way. And looking forward to our community getting behind us and see if we can make a run here.
Love everything about it, Coach. Thank you for taking the time with us. Thank you for talking baseball in the middle of the winter, because that's my favorite thing in the world. Have to ask you about the league before I let you go. Cody Bellinger to the Yankees. That makes the Yankees unstoppable, right?
Oh, it's I just saw that. And in fact, my 2 kids are still up north, and they just flew in today. And my son, the first thing he says is Bellinger to the Yankees. I don't know. I think he's obviously a very talented player. A little bit too much swing and miss for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, he has that short porch in right field that he can take advantage of. And it's going to be interesting. Is he going to be able to replace what Juan Soto did? I don't know if that's what they're doing. But your lefty hitter, if he can create some more contact than he has been, he can use that short porch.
You're 100% correct. And GMing is different than managing, obviously, but it has been a post-Soto aggression from the New York Yankees. They're going out and getting guys.
Scorned lover,
yes,
right there,
exactly,
the New York Yankees.
Exactly what it seems like. Coach, thank you so much.
That's a good example, kind of what we did in the offseason. When you have Spinrath and Holland who have been hitting in the middle of our lineup the last couple of years and producing at a high level, it's hard to go out and expect somebody to replace their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can upgrade some other positions from years from last year's lineup, but also add in some other guys and collectively try to make up for those numbers versus just going out and trying to buy one player. And that's what and I'm sure the Yankees are kind of under the same type of building mantra, is not trying to replace him one for one, is just trying to upgrade everywhere around so that you can collectively do it.
Yeah, that's an excellent insight there, obviously. Happy holidays to you, Coach. Happy holidays to your family as they are now in town. Welcome to they, and thank you for taking the time with us.
Thanks for having me on, and happy holidays, and we'll talk soon.
Excellent, friend. He's about the nicest guy, man.
He's amazing,
He's
man.
about the nicest guy.
It's such a great baseball mind, too. I don't know if friends of the show have gone out to a game this year, but watching him manage out there, it's amazing. Poetry in motion from Todd Brown.
He's a first step on the top, or foot on the top step kind of guy. You know what I mean? He's right there. And the baseball, what's the best way to say what I'm about to say? Baseball player is the most head case of all athletes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to harm others. I'm not saying they're going to, but what I am going to say is if they're not talking out loud, they're in their own head. And, like, it takes a ton to make collegiate baseball player right out there, and he's a guy who's very good at doing it.
He does an amazing job, and friends of the show, if you have not been out to a game, we highly recommend you go out there and support these boys. I mean, they had their best season in over a decade last season.
Well, and it's not what it was years gone by. Like, there's beer now.
Yeah, good concession stands.
Like,
it's not all bleachers. There's regular seats.
Yeah, there's seat backs where you can have a beer.
And you under the lights.
Have you ever had a beer there? It's awesome.
I haven't. I usually work.
Well, I guess you haven't. Yeah,
I usually work, and I also just I am not of age. February. Hey, in time for their home opener, actually, February 21st.
Man, Van and I have gone to so many games where we just kick back with a beer. And you know how baseball is. Everyone we just go, Ned James! Before you know it, he's like starts walking up, and we're like, not without a beer! Because this is what we're doing.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah, it is noon on Sunday.
It is a good time out there.
We just had to drudge through the NFL for 9 straight months or whatever it felt like.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Like, let's Sunday afternoon drink beer at college baseball
and relax with some of your closest Lobo friends out there, man. And they got Texas Tech home and home always. Those are always fun. And we did whomp them last year, 17-3, and we had them on the ropes too. That second game against them as well. New Mexico State also, I believe, coming to town twice as well. Yeah. So we didn't talk about that, but the Aggies. Coming to town too. They got a good baseball program down there. Not as good as ours, obviously.
No, a little on-air stuff from off-air stuff. We wrapped the call 10 seconds ago. Todd sends a really nice message. And it's the little things.
Yeah,
it's the effort is there by he. And if he's giving it to lowly old me, who Bronco Mendenhall couldn't slum with even one time. How incredible he must treat those players and support staff. It is. I'm telling you this. It is the best run department in athletics at the entire university.
Baseball, huh?
Yeah, they have it figured out. When we get back from the break, we continue from Rio Bravo Brewery. It's a Taco Tuesday. Christmas parties are rolling in, my man. It's 2 Minutes on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
This report.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On, where if you bring in Carlos Tenorio, you sure as stuff don't waste them. All right, break down the weekend. The Lobos beat Western New Mexico 122-70. Carlos,
Jesus.
talk to us about the powerhouse that the Lobos are.
Yes, what a big win for the Lobos there against 1-9 Division II Western New Mexico. Announced attendance of 11,000. There was maybe 5.
Oh, yeah.
At that game. It was the emptiest game I had seen in a long time at the pit.
Did those 5,000 go crazy whenever Quentin Webb scored?
Well, it was more of a little roar because by then we were up by 40 and there was maybe 2,000 there. But it was good to see the Lobos and some guys that usually don't get playing time get some cardio in, get some points against Western, preparing for a big game tomorrow night at the pit against VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University. The first top 50 net opponent. No, you don't care about this, Fred.
Not at all.
The first top 50 net opponent, non-conference opponent to play at the pit in over 7 years. That is a big deal. Top 50 team coming, top 50 non-conference team coming to the pit tomorrow.
Does that mean the Lobos are about to catch an L? Is that what you're saying?
No. If the pit gets loud and strong and, the boys rebound, that's a big thing. Rebounding this year has not been their special. Free throws too. If the Lobos can, just do those, I think they can handle VCU, get a really good quad 1 win to add to USC and UCLA on the year.
So we talked about Patino a little earlier when Kenny Thomas came on, and he says that he likes what he's seeing from the team, but he's also very, very, of course, that the New Mexico State loss stings. But I was watching, I know you said earlier you were watching a Patino presser. I didn't watch the most recent one, Carlos, but I watched the one 2 games ago when he says, and he kept saying this, I have to stay on top of these guys more so than I ever have in my entire coaching career. And he says last year, I can do it. And that's like the number 1 line for a coach, to calmly say he's crazy. He said, don't worry, I can do it. I just now know I have to do it. And he says, he name drops and says, last year, Jalen House, I didn't have to stay on top of him. I didn't have to stay on top of Mashburn. He says, these kids, I have to stay on top of them, and that's perfectly fine. And he says, so if they've got to come in for practice at 7 a.m. to get them going, that's what we're going to have to do. And I guess that's what he's been doing. I don't know if it's something that's stuck, but I do know, of course, it could be some internal punishment from the whole situation from a few weeks ago. I'm sure that has something to do with it, but he says, look, I have to stay on top of these guys. So what I think that means is that they have a coach that is not going to sit around and just let them stay in a slump. If we notice that they're not playing the same or they have low energy, I don't think him, especially with his last name, he's not just going to sit back and let the team continue playing that way. I think he'll get them ready. So I expect to see a good Lobos team versus these guys.
Yeah, you think about it, there's really no solid anchor this year. Donovan Dent sticked around. Having Mustafa Amzil again this year is huge. But you had Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn, the best backcourt in the league for, 3 seasons under Patino? So you had that piece of consistency, those guys that have been there and have, helped build back this program since Paul Weir left. And this year you really don't. It's a much younger team. Honestly, it makes 100% sense why, he has to be a little bit more on top of them. From a fan standpoint, that's a little concerning having to hear that, especially after that New Mexico State loss. But tomorrow is a huge opportunity going back into conference play. Obviously, they're 1-0 again in the Mountain West, having defeated San Jose State University the Wednesday before New Mexico State. But you got to pick up one of your last solid quad 1 victories to add to your tournament resume.
That's what Kenny says, and he pretty much said that same thing. And he says, well, you got to, take into perspective, you're looking at the guys, and you do have players who have to grow into that role. So it's something that could take place later on, maybe later on in the season. But you got guys that, you have to grow into being a leader. But I don't know. It is concerning, but I think it's nice to know that you have the right guy leading the ship, I believe. So it's natural for younger guys to need someone to stay on top of them.
Oh, 100%.
For it to say the first time in his career, that's, is this motivation?
Well, it's motivation for him to stop losing the teams they're not supposed to lose to, like New Mexico State.
Like New Mexico State. And being down 2 for what felt like the longest 50 seconds of my life against Western New Mexico.
Yeah, let's look at the psychology.
That was crazy.
Imagine you're Donovan Dent and you hear him say, yeah, I got to stay on top of these guys. Jalen House last year, I didn't have to stay on top of him, but this year, that could be a little bit of reverse psychology. Like Donovan's going to hear this, and that's his key to step up, and he's adding the pressure.
It's a big wake-up call, I feel like, for the guys. VCU 9-2 on the year, traveling to La Casa de los Lobos the Pit tomorrow for a 7 o'clock tip-off. VCU's 9-2, New Mexico 8-3. VCU just coming off a win against Colorado State. They beat Penn, Georgia Southern. They beat the University of Miami, the U, going down to VCU 77-70. And obviously, the Lobos have been in a little bit of a funk here. Their last 5 going 3-2 with losses to New Mexico State and Arizona State, but victories against San Jose State and USC, and obviously the 42-point blowout against the Western New Mexico Mustangs. And like I alluded to, it was one of the. They said 11,000. Having been there, there was nowhere close to 11,000. They changed tip off from 2 to 5 o'clock for whatever reason. But
the Mustangs had to get back to Silver City.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
Dang. And graduation the night before too, so they probably wanted to get a shoot around in the morning, so that's why they pushed back the game to 5 o'clock.
Oh, you mean everyone left town after graduation, and it's not actually the draw that the athletics department thinks it is, and it's only a matter of convenience whenever its fans show up? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the reason the game was pushed back was because of graduation. But we'll see. It looks like tickets are going fast. Expect another 11,000, 12,000 tickets sold for tomorrow's game against VCU. Now, will there be 11,000, 12,000? That has remained to be seen.
Graduation was Friday night.
It was
an entire day before.
That is, I'm not blaming graduation for. No, I'm saying it was pushed back because of graduation the night before.
And then graduation, just to make sure I'm clear here, immediately following graduation that same night, people who attended the UNM graduation then came to my 40th birthday party, like exhausted from graduation. So what I'm saying is, no one cares. This is not the thing they think it is.
Only time will tell.
When they lost to New Mexico State,
that was awful.
# same old Lobos.
The Lobos came out on Twitter, and that was a really deflating loss. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Having to hear "Let's Go Aggies" ring through the pit is one of the most disgraceful things I've ever had.
There are more
to sit
Aggies
through.
Fans in Albuquerque than there are Lobos fans in Albuquerque.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
You would not.
The whole Aggie curse, which is funny because New Mexico State fans love to bash Albuquerque as a city, but then they tend to live here. But yeah, you should never have an opponent, a visiting team, be louder than you at the end of the game.
You're saying two different things here. Lobo fan bashes Albuquerque. Like, that doesn't – everyone bashes Albuquerque.
No, I'm saying Aggie fans bashing
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
They all do it. That doesn't make Aggie fan bad.
Part.
No, I'm not saying Aggie fans are bad at all.
Here's good news. Here's good news for Albuquerque. And not to swing it back to football. Jason Eck reportedly, when he was offered the job, he knew nothing about Albuquerque. So he asked other coaches, other people. And his quote is, he got no red flags. There were no red flags, and that's why he chose to come to UNM.
He meant red flags in front of houses and commercial businesses and on cars because no one celebrates the Lobos. That's what he meant by there were no red flags.
Possibly. But he says, like, other people gave him feedback, and after he got feedback from multiple coaches, he took the job.
I wonder who he talked to. I was listening to that yesterday on the opening drive, and what coaches did he talk to?
I'm not sure.
Bob Davey?
When Bronco leaves, a lot of people in Albuquerque are like, was it us? What was it? Like,
yeah,
there's hear another coach come in and say, there were no red flags. It's like, okay.
Obviously X, Twitter, whatever it's called, is a hellscape, and everyone goes down a doom hole there. So I don't recommend that.
If I saw a job that all I had to do was go work 1 year, and then I get a huge promotion to go work somewhere cooler,
Logan, Utah is cooler.
If you're a loser Mormon.
Or if you're from there, or
You
both,
know, woohoo.
literally both.
Or you're both.
Yeah.
Or you're just, a spineless snake, like named Bronco Mendenhall, who, oh, God, don't get me started there. But
No, you should get started. Sports Talk Radio. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
toll-free hotline.
Sports Animal.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Minutes On. It is 5 o'clock. Quitting time for many of our friends of the show out there. Enjoy your drive home.
Pour me something tall strong.
What is that? What are you doing?
Oh, you don't like country music?
Is that a country music?
It is.
Do it again.
Pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane. And I'm going to stop now before
Hold
we
on.
get a cease and desist.
Let me make sure I got this correct. The lyric is, pour me something tall and strong, indicating he's asking for any drink. And then the immediate next line is,
make it a hurricane.
Make it a hurricane.
Gotta love old Alan Jackson.
Which is him asking for a specific drink.
That is tall and strong.
So I want to make sure I understand again.
Yeah.
When he says, pour me something tall and strong,
he's saying any drink, and then he narrows it down to a hurricane.
In the immediately following sentence, make it a hurricane before what?
Before I go insane.
All right. He's already insane. He can't even give simple directions.
This is what happens when you drink with Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett is a billionaire, and it had nothing to do with his music.
It had everything to do with
Margaritaville
there
restaurants.
You go.
That's the answer.
Very, very sad. The one on the strip closed.
Yeah. Also, if you on the where?
The strip in Las Vegas.
That's sad for you.
I did. Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Oh,
That's where I
God,
celebrated the Mountain West Championship this year. Sadly, when you're under 21 in Las Vegas, where do you go to Margaritaville and you have yourself a burger there, and you listen to Changes in Attitude, Changes in Latitude on repeat.
What was the name of the hurricane singing song?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
No, but who sung it?
Alan Jackson and Jimmy Buffett.
Now, if Alan Jackson was a real friend of Jimmy Buffett, why didn't he say, make me a margarita?
Well, they get in later in the song.
It's what I need a.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Later in the song, Jimmy Buffett comes in and he talks about Margaritaville. Jim Buffett said he had seen Alan Jackson's boat there a couple times.
Hold on, just to be incredibly clear here, because I'm not trying to confuse the audience. You're now taking his stage name of Jimmy Buffett and shortening it to Jim.
No, I said Jimmy Buffett.
You said Jim Buffett.
I say Jim Buffett. You know, him and I go way back.
You said Jim Buffett like he was a man of the frontier, and you were reliving his days of protecting his friend Andrew Allen Jackson, president of these United States.
Oh, back in 1862, Jim Buffett.
Is that when you think?
Chuck wagon.
Is that when you think?
It seems like the right era for a guy named Jim Buffett.
You're not going to say Abraham Lincoln?
Well, I mean, he was the president at the time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Until he would decide to go see a play, and he had a mind-blowing experience there. I heard at Ford Theater.
Yep, that's terrible. You said that. Isaiah Johnson with us at the studio. Carlos Tenorio with me here at Rio Bravo Brewery, and it's been a tough day so far for me. during the break, Isaiah, I'm not joking.
Okay.
During the break,
I
Carlos,
needed that disclaimer.
thank you. No punchline here.
Boom.
Carlos takes off his headset, turns to his left, which is looking directly at me, and says, "I love history."
You're missing context. This is unethical journalism here, Fred.
He goes, I just love history. I go, love? You love it?
How far back we talking?
Yeah.
Speaking of history, right. I don't know if I can co-sign on that one.
I'm not saying I support everything that's happened in history. It's important to know history, but there's
Everything happened for a
context
reason.
missing in that quote.
Yeah, everything happened for a reason, right?
No, I'm not saying that. Good Lord. I'm glad the Titanic hit an iceberg.
Oh,
Well, that's a good spin-off.
Yeah.
What
But I will say, speaking of history, we never on this show, and I know we don't go into sports that often.
Nope.
We didn't even mention Bronny James scoring 30 points last week.
Who in what league
And for
and
who?
against who?
It was in the Great League, aka the G League.
Oh,
But that's what G League stands for, is the Great League.
oh yeah, that's definitely what G League stands for.
Bronny James, and it was actually the day LeBron announced that he was stepping away for personal reasons.
Oh
Bronny
yes, we all know those personal reasons.
I hope we're wrong. Wouldn't that be the biggest topic in sports history? I'm including OJ. LeBron was to end up on this list for anything regarding the Diddy case. It would instantly be.
Oh, that's not what I would. Whoa, Isaiah. Whoa,
why
whoa.
did you go to that?
Why'd you go to that? I wasn't
What are you
talking about him.
doing?
What are we doing?
Well,
This is a family show.
Well, I'm going to go there. The what ifs. Say his name does pop up in any type
Whose
of
name?
report. LeBron.
Oh, okay.
See,
Pop
yeah.
up in a report like Jay-Z's did. It would be the biggest story in American sports history, including OJ.
Didn't LeBron play last night?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he just came back.
Oh, okay.
He just came back, but he stepped away and didn't tell anybody why. And you asked JJ Redick, do you know when he'll be back? No. You know JJ, he just said no and left it at that. Now they're cool, so I'm sure JJ knew, but they left the window open for speculation. So then the courts are like, oh, is he waiting on his name to get dropped? And I'm thinking,
I
if
don't
that
know.
happens,
It is trade
Bigger no
season. I mean, it could be something with a trade. I mean, the table next to us agrees. You just heard the roar of the crowd.
There's no way
Huh.
LeBron James will ever get traded.
You don't think so?
No.
To the Golden State Warriors?
Not
No. You know how much money?
ever though,
You know how much money is in jersey sales?
Could you imagine those jersey sales in the Bay Area?
No.
It'd be great. Now, I'm not saying I want LeBron James on the Golden State Warriors, but you know, the Warriors do need help. My goodness, they are
it would
floundering right now.
devalue every single person's Draymond Green jersey would be devalued.
Oh.
LeBron would probably switch to like number 9 or 6.
I mean, 6 would be
The
great.
Warriors don't have a big time. Yeah, the Warriors don't have a big time.
They need a big time fix right now. I mean,
So Shale
Steph is wasting away.
Sonnen, do you guys know him?
No.
Oh, of course I know Chael.
All right.
One of
So
my actually my all-time favorite UFC fighter.
cool. He works in sports broadcast media now. I see him at WrestleManias and stuff all the time. He's nice. He's not there mentally. I hope that made sense.
That makes sense.
He is punch drucky, I believe is the word I would use. And
Punch struck.
he is claiming that LeBron James is in fact what Isaiah is saying.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's a Didier.
Oh.
Chael and Colby Covington. There, it's the right. Chael is the right. But when I was a Chael fan, I mean, I wasn't looking at anything like that. But
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
anybody on the right side currently is very, very fast to find any way to come at LeBron. Of course, he was very vocal and verbal about supporting Kamala. So they're just trying to find anything to throw shade at him. I don't actually believe that's happening, but again, I do think there is no sports event ever in the history of America that would be a bigger deal than that.
I don't know. I mean, Black Sox scandal at the time was pretty big back in
No, it wasn't.
1919.
Literally, no one knew about it. You had to read a paper. Most people couldn't even read.
Yeah.
There's no way that was bigger.
I love history.
It's just no one one today in this entire country,
Other than maybe
mentioned
me.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
I believe that man should be a Hall of Famer. He did nothing wrong. He was acquitted. He batted .367 in the series. He didn't make a single error. He was the MVP of the World Series that year against the Reds. No one knows who that is. That's what makes me sad.
Why would LeBron James go to a party and do drugs with P. Diddy and do it in a maid's outfit?
I don't think.
I'm sorry, what?
That's
Is that the claim?
That sounds like a quote.
Well, I'm just asking a question. Colby
I don't
Covington is saying
Yep.
that LeBron James put on a sexy French maid's outfit, went to moving forward. I'm only going to say Sean Combs. Went to Sean Combs's party and did drugs with him. Why is this true?
I don't know if I believe it's true. I don't know if I believe that's true. I think worst case scenario for LeBron is they say he was there when something took place.
Wait, how does he know it happened then? Would that mean he was at Mr. Combs' party as well?
Yeah, how did he get this knowledge?
Yeah, how did he get this knowledge of French maid LeBron?
Well, I'm sure this is known, but Colby Covington is not necessarily the fact source you want to go to. He's a Chael son. He's a Timu Chael. To take Carlos' Fraser. He's a Timu Chael to the bone. He tries to talk like Chael. He tries to fight like Chael. I believe they both train in Oregon. So that's what that is. He's a great trash talker, though, as you can see, based off the description and details he just gave.
Yes, of the French maid outfit.
Yes.
All right, first of all, that was all my words. And here's the quote. I'm going to start this off, since I'm the man of the hour, the man of the show. I just want to ask LeBron, what does he mean by, quote, there's no party like a Diddy party, unquote. I truly want to know. And not only that, LeBron, how many Diddy parties have you actually been to? I'm really curious to know. That's not very good trash talking.
I think he's just generally curious.
Continuing. Is that the reason why you don't have social media? Because LeBron James has social media.
Yeah, Colby's an idiot.
Because of the backlash you're going to get going to so many Diddy parties. Just pathetic, man. People think this guy is a role model, wants to defend the police, the most patriotic people. Wants to defund the police, the most patriotic people in America, serving and protecting our country. LeBron, you're a expletive scumbag. And I hope you get locked up in the same cell with Diddy.
A.K.A. Sean Combs.
Thank you.
No, the question is, did he do it?
You just rim shot your own joke?
I did.
You can't give me a second to...
I knew it wasn't coming, that's why.
No, LeBron came back. He had a good game. 80 scored 40. They won. But it's still really weird. Another fun fact, he's actually done this 2 other times in his career, and it was both in December, where he left for, quote, personal reasons. So maybe he just likes his Christmas as well.
Or
his birthday's right around the corner.
Seasonal depression is a thing, and maybe it's a mental health break. So
I just Googled LeBron James defund the police. Nothing came up, so I don't know what that is.
Oh, wow. What do you know?
No, that's not a shocker. But what did raise an eyebrow is, just like naturally, your dad steps away, and then Bronny, which is how we got on the topic, Bronny comes out and has his best game probably since high school. So that's what really raised my eyebrow.
He's playing in a high school gym, so that's probably why. He was used to the environment.
Had the shooter's eye, all super trucks.
You know who's having a good G League season?
No.
Jalen House.
He says no.
San Diego Clippers.
How would I ever know that?
How's Jalen doing? I heard he was.
Jalen is doing pretty good. He's balling out there, down there with the Clippers. He had a good game against the Santa Cruz Warriors the other night.
Colby Covington saying anything about him?
About Jalen House?
Yeah.
He's made it if he is.
Yeah, I know. Good for House.
All right, update. I didn't know how to spell Jalen. All right, here we go.
Yeah, he's got a very unique Jalen.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
There is someone currently. Who'd you say beat up on San Diego? Who'd you say you just played a game?
Oh, you
against?
played against Santa Cruz Warriors.
Oh, Santa Cruz. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because he beat up on San Diego in college too. That's kind of a cool thing.
I know. You know, I'll give this to the athletic department's, the UNM athletic department's Instagram or X. I forgot what it was, but they tweeted at
We use Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. Well, yeah. I highly recommend Blue Sky. It's good.
You recommend Blue Sky?
I do. The curse is joining it.
Without pulling your phone up, what's the last thing you read on Blue Sky?
I'm about to join Blue Sky.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm recommending people join. So I obviously won't be alone,
Yeah.
but the curse will have a Blue Sky account before.
Is this you announcing?
This is me announcing the curse will have a Blue Sky account. Yeah. Shocker. But UNM.
To me, it was AOC saying she tried real hard, but she didn't get the oversight committee job. So.
It's unfortunate.
It sucks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she's going to be a staple of the Democratic Party for the next 20 years, and I just don't understand why Nancy Pelosi and her cronies won't allow any sort of forward-thinking effort or youth in this entire party. It's crazy.
And, it's true. Old people hate young people.
That's 100% true because I'm here with you two. And I'm
I'm like approaching middle. I'm like approaching middle status.
Middle? You just celebrated your 50th birthday?
That is not correct.
Yeah, you know what's also funny about the NBA? To also correlate
How much
with
it sucks now?
Yeah, their viewership's going down. No one cares about that world.
Hockey is where it's at now, boys.
Same.
Maybe the ice pool.
Salabrini and the San Jose Sharks. Stanley Cup here in
Is Salabrini
4
the guy who
years.
played for the Celtics?
No, that's Scalabrini, the White Mamba.
Very similar.
Yeah, it's Salabrini and Scalabrini. Scalabrini played with the Celtics. The
They're
redheaded
100%
leprechaun-looking guy.
Leprechauns are short.
Well, he was massive, but he kind of fit in with the Boston, thing going on there.
What thing? What is the thing in Boston?
He was wicked cool.
Oh my god! I want you to take a LeBron James from this show.
The leprechauns. Good old Boston leprechauns.
Oh God!
I'm trying to find anything here that says LeBron. There's not a single thing on the internet that says LeBron James is a bad guy.
Yeah, you're not gonna find it. You're not gonna find it.
It's because the media, they're keeping it from you. If you listen to, I almost said Bon Jovi. I forgot what his name is before.
Bon Jovi.
Before Dan Bongino, then then you'll hear it. But
That's a weird dude.
yeah, he's a little off his rocker there, Dan Bongino.
Okay. So update here on the Jay-Z stuff. He, according to himself, is innocent. So this whole thing seems resolved.
Isn't that what OJ said too?
Well, there was a
What?
there was a jury that said he was innocent.
Yeah, but he was tried in a civil court,
Well, that's different.
found guilty
Yeah, that's
in
different.
a civil court. Jalen House this year.
Okay.
13 games played, averaging 9 minutes, 5 points a game, 51% shooting.
How many points a game?
He's coming off the bench right now, so he's
What
at
is it?
5.5
Yeah,
points
he's
a
a
game
kid.
right now. So I mean, he's forcing a lot of turnovers. Seems like and still. So that's
Oh yeah, is that what he's doing? He playing really good defense.
he is. That was his staple
Yeah,
at UNM. He was
locking down passing lanes. Is that what he's doing?
I'm very very happy for Jalen House and
Isaiah, his off-ball defense is unmatched in a lot of ways. Yeah,
Just create turnovers. He's a good transition.
he is a good transition
Yeah.
there. He's good for a few assists a game in the G League, and he's wearing number 16. That seems wrong to me, but it is amazing to me that he is playing in San Diego after everything he did to the traitors to the Mountain West San Diego State Aztecs. Who are now, I don't know if you saw this, but the teams leaving the Mountain West currently filing a lawsuit against the Mountain West again, talking about exit fees. They don't want to pay the fees.
They don't want to pay the fees.
Pay the fees. Get the heck out of here. You
What are
know?
the two schools?
It is Colorado State and BYU. Oh, breaking news just in
when we get back from the break,
after the break.
Carlos gives you breaking news. It's tuning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Reason why all the deep boys all showing up.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Two Men On live from Rio Bravo Brewery. It's been a banger of a Taco Tuesday. I am here, Fred Slow. Carlos Tenorio is with me. Isaiah Johnson back at the studio. And Carlos, you were going to give us breaking news?
Yes, David Till
Who?
of the Newport.
Don't introduce a name to me
News.
without explaining to me who it is.
I got to give the name of the source. David Till of the Newport News in
That's
Virginia.
a city. Newport News is a city.
That's the. Anyways, David Till.
What are you
It
doing?
is being picked up by ESPN
Hold
and
on.
Bleacher Report.
Will you slow down before you
Sorry.
finish this thought?
The Virginian Pilot is the name
Newport
of
News is a city.
city.
So you're telling me that a guy who lives in Newport News, because you thought it was a newspaper publication, is your source for whatever you're about to tell me?
Of the David Till of the Virginian Pilot.
Oh, okay. That
There you
makes
go.
more sense.
Is reporting that former
children.
NFL quarterback and big fan of animals, Michael Vick, has been hired as the new head coach at Norfolk State.
What's Norfolk State?
The Spartans. It's a college program there.
HBCU? Like, what is it?
He was supposed to go to Sac State.
He was
Know what
supposed to go
happened?
to Sac State, which is also an FCS. I
what's-
believe Norfolk State is an FCS Division One. But as Fred and I were talking
Public
during
University.
the break, is
Okay.
talking during the break. It's only a matter of time before this other Virginian university, Norfolk.
So Virginia, the state of Virginia just hires felons?
Well, you know.
I was gonna say, in Mike Vick's defense, right? If there is,
In his defense.
if there's a book on how to move accordingly, how to move forward after making a huge mistake, I mean, Mike Vick is the blueprint. I mean, this guy is now, number one, he was able to go on TV and talk on national settings without it. You know, some people, of course, didn't forget, but it didn't seem like weird, like they were having a criminal up there. He was looked at as somebody who made the mistake and did the right things. And now he's a head coach of a university.
I'll be the first one to say, you do your time, you get your rehabilitation, welcome back.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to say it.
And he's done a good job on that. So
He seems to have done that. But I will also be the first one to say, this is the weirdest surprise move ever.
yeah.
Michael
is
Vick is the head coach. I mean, he's one of those. I think he doesn't know football, but Michael Vick is a guy where if he wasn't as athletic as he was, would he have been the same player? And the reason I make that point is because as a head coach, you're having to draw up plays, you're having to game plan. I feel like Mike Vick, his legs just got him out of a lot of situations.
To be
So I
fair,
wonder- to be fair,
I mean, that's true for every single person that played in the NFL. Their athleticism got them there.
not Tom or Peyton.
What? What?
that is a
They can sling it.
That is what.
you saying pitchers aren't
That is-
athletes as well?
Yeah, well, okay. So throwing ability, yeah.
I'm looking here at this thing.
Norfolk State is an FCS, so they're Division One FCS, so they're right below FBS, where the University of New Mexico is, and they play in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. They've been the members of the MEAC since 1999. I'm doing more research on the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
He looks like an uncle I don't trust. Yeah, here we go. But when did he take Virginia Tech to the national title? Well, I guess the game because he lost.
Is this the Deion Sanders opened window here? This is like a path that Deion Sanders cleared.
No, Deion Sanders didn't go to jail.
Well, just you got to think of all the things that could work about this. And I haven't been involved in, like looking at college football coaches for that long, but Deion Sanders, ex-player, had a lot of charisma and momentum that came with him, and his name got recruits. Whereas, a Nick Saban or a Bill Belichick can get recruits because of their name. I think Mike Vick's another one of those guys where his name.
Yeah. Anyone who hates dogs will send their kid there. That's sweet.
They had a that's
You know-
a rough conference for Norfolk State.
You know, he
Rough.
interviewed for the UNM job, but he was like, you have to change the mascot. He's like, I don't.
God.
Sorry, boys, I don't.
Sorry.
Sorry, not gonna.
Norfolk State's in the MEAC with South Carolina State, North Carolina Central, Morgan State, obviously them, Howard,
Hey,
and
stop!
Delaware State.
Stop naming a bunch of places I've never heard of.
Yeah, it should tell you what conference Michael Vick's going to. Norfolk State finished 4-8 on the year and 2-3 in conference play.
What was he doing before this? Tell me, podcast host.
I'm trying to figure out now, or if he's even coached. Okay,
I maybe he was a high school coach.
in 2017, he joined Andy Reid as an intern, and
Good for
he
him.
did not coach after that. He's an offensive coordinator. Looks like he got fired as an offensive coordinator.
From where?
Atlanta Legends
Oh, arena
of the
football.
Alliance. Yep, Alliance of American Football. Is that arena?
No, the AAF. The
Okay.
old AAF, one of those spring leagues that also failed.
And then he says, regarding becoming a coach, and this is in 2018. This all happened. I didn't think I ever wanted to coach, but talking about the game at Fox, I get excited like I'm out there playing again, but it's still not touching individuals. When the opportunity came about, I felt like I could really make a difference and get back to the game.
So
Once I found out it was in Atlanta, I thought it was a home run.
So Norfolk State is hiring a failed offensive coordinator in a spring football league that didn't even last a season.
Isaiah, you are qualified for this job.
What are we doing here in Norfolk State?
Hey, hold on. He never even coached
The
Man,
Legends.
No.
Yeah.
Because the league folded?
He resigned before coaching a game due to other commitments.
Oh my God. Man couldn't even coach in a league that was going down.
As an OC, and that's what I said earlier. He doesn't come off to me just based on his play style. Like you can't go out and expect people to do what you did. And his play style never really changed. So I don't see a scenario as to how he can teach a quarterback how to pocket pass and run an offense unless, say he got his hands on Dampier. That could have elevated everything about Dampier. So
Yeah.
maybe they're going to get a quarterback that can mimic kind of what he could do, or else this would make no sense.
It's the same reason Ted Williams failed as a manager and Joe DiMaggio was an awful hitting coach. Like you're two great hitters and you can't replicate what you did on the field. Like I feel like that's the hardest thing about getting a player like Michael Vick in there. And obviously Dion changed, really changed the mindset there, and he's become a good coach there in Boulder. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Tough day for Sac State losing Michael
It's
Vick.
a weird time in college football because it's all ruined. NIL's ruined everything. It's all ruined. Where for some reason, Bill Belichick is a coach of a college program. For some reason, Michael Vick is the coach of a college program. Do you guys remember 5 minutes ago, Trent Dilfer went to UAB? Trent Dilfer was terrible. I think Eddie George was coaching Tennessee State for some minutes, and he'd never coached at any level either.
Yeah.
I don't think – and I know the Bill Belichick. What's that, brother?
I think it's Dion. As far as players getting this leeway, maybe, what you just mentioned, those happened before Dion, but maybe his success has just gotten whoever decides, the AD, athletic director, is just like, maybe he can bring a new energy here. Maybe his name and – I don't know. He's got to put together a good coaching staff.
I don't see it in college basketball. I really think it's just a college football thing. I can't think of in college basketball them being like, oh, yes, this is our guy. This NBA veteran, I can't really think of, maybe other than Georgetown with Patrick Ewing, I believe, this happened in college basketball.
If you were wanting, I know we got to go to break, so I'm sorry. I'm going to give you a list of individuals you should go after if you're a college football team and you want to put a head coach in front of your program only for attention. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. And welcome back to 2 Men On, where we're just 20 short minutes away from Lobo Talk. Is Jason Eck on there today, Isaiah?
It's a good question. I have no confirmation on that yet.
Tune in to find out. It's good radio, Carlos.
Yeah, very good job. I'm going to tune in now.
Let's say you're a university right now, okay? And you want to put in a head coach with no experience, like a guy like Mike Vick, okay? And you're doing it for attention the way that you guys have claimed. I know who you need to make the head coach of your football team.
Who?
Jimmy Donaldson. Oh, I'm sorry. You know him as Mr. Beast.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I'm saying. You just want interest? You want hashtag
Money?
kids today?
Money, too? Yeah, that's some big NIL right there.
He's got that kind of money. I think he's got infuse a program money.
I say put Vlad and Nikki in there, too. Put those little kids that unwrap toys.
Make Travis Hunter's girlfriend the water girl. You guys are golden.
That's the one to me, though. And then after a game, just have them do a reaction video to the game.
I coached a Division I college football game.
Yeah.
Let's see how it went.
I infused $10 million into a lowly Division I football team for a season. Let's see how it played out. And then, like, the training camp is like Squid Game stuff or whatever.
It's just Hard Knocks
Yeah.
with the Mr.
Yeah.
Beast like twist on it.
Hey, guys, welcome to Lobo Training Camp, where today you're going to work harder than you've ever worked before. But you're not going to do it with me, Mr. Beast. You're going to do it with my friends from Dude Perfect.
This is
So
how you
Mr.
get a
Beast-
spiral going, boys. This is how you do it out here in Texas. Oh,
Mr. Beast has got a net worth of $500 million, which means he's sitting at a near billion.
He's got 300 million YouTube subscribers.
good Lord.
You want to get to the kids?
Yeah,
Those games on
that's
YouTube,
a younger generation.
Oh, is that too young? You don't.
They will be.
All right, should we get PewDiePie? Like, what are you
too?
saying?
Oh, yeah, PewDiePie. Yeah.
That's like right before me, though. I guess PewDiePie was a big deal when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I just never got into his channel.
Well, I'm just saying these two guys have as much coaching experience as Michael Vick.
Yeah. Good point.
I don't know who
That was
liked,
a big.
like Natasha. That's like a child.
Well, I mean, if we're going with experience, I mean, Tim Keller, put him in charge. He played quarterback for the Duke City
That
Gladiators.
was awesome.
He had a dime
Dog,
touchdown pass,
that's,
too.
That's right before I got into broadcasting, and I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Like here in town.
Yeah, it was
Mayor-
like there's a video of it, and it's like a dot
Oh, I've
into
seen
the
it.
end zone. Great form for the mayor.
I don't know if this is front of the house conversation, but I played a lot of Thanksgiving football with Tim Keller, like touch football, and he does not suck.
No, he's a good quarterback. He's a good football player.
So stupid.
St. Pius High School grad.
Put
Played
him-
football there.
Put Mr. Beast. I think he played rugby or lacrosse or rugby in college.
Tim?
Yeah,
Well,
at Notre Dame. He was like a stud.
wow.
That's what they need. Mr.
How do you
Beast.
feel about Mr. Beast? Do you think
I don't know
do
anything
you think
about
he's okay? But just what he does, right? So he gives crazy amounts of money away, gives crazy amounts of things away, but also there's like a return, of course. And I always wonder, like, is this guy like an awful person behind the scenes, or is he just truly this transparent, fun guy that just doesn't care to give away $100 million to random strangers?
I don't know enough about him. I don't know enough about the legitimacy of his giveaways. I don't know what's a work. I don't know what's sponsored content. I'm old man slow when it comes to like YouTube sensations.
Do the people have to file taxes on that?
100%
Yeah.
have to file taxes.
So I mean, you get what, $1 million? I mean, it's still not $1 million. It's a good hefty amount of change, but like, give me some to where it's still $1 million, but the taxes make it $1 million even.
Well, you can claim philanthropy like the way he's giving it away, but the way philanthropy laws work is you have to like show the cause, right? So if you like, I don't know what he does, but let's say he's like, hey, the first 10 people to retweet my Blue Sky, they get X amount of money. Like, you can't like write that stuff off.
No.
Because like, and then like, God forbid, like somebody who wins money off of him, like does something illegal with it. Like, then you end up in a really weird.
Yeah,
like,
then that's a real sticky situation.
Hey,
there
my name's Isaiah Johnson. I'm live streaming right now on Blue Sky, and I just got $10,000 from Mr. Beast, so I bought a ticket to jump out of an airplane, and I'm taking my parachute off. Like that, then you're in trouble. Like, you can't do that. Also, I don't know anything about them. Like, there's like a lot of forms of media that I know a ton about. YouTubing.
Really?
I can't think of one video I've watched of his, honestly.
I don't know one.
He's one of those guys where it's like you don't watch him,
but you know about him.
You know about him, but then you go to his videos and there's a crazy amount of views. So I think it's the younger generation.
Yeah, it's this new generation of iPad kids.
We had a thing when I was a kid called TRL. It was on MTV.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it was
on actual television. What?
Yeah, wild, right?
I remember TRL.
Like with a satellite, not a streaming service?
It wasn't even a satellite, bro. There was like the box on top of your TV. It was like,
what?
Yeah. It was important to people that their favorite Backstreet Boys video had the most updates.
Yeah.
People want their thing, especially losers. Like, anyone who like claims that the content that they consume is their personality. Like, if you're like, and no offense to Isaiah, but if you're like Dallas Cowboy jersey, Dallas Cowboy socks, like
decked out,
like blue Jordan 11s, like your whole personality is that. I mean, that makes you a loser, and it's like all of those things are true for every medium. If you're only the video game you play, or if you're only the pro wrestling organization you own, if you're only these exact thing, like you just gotta diversify your life.
Well, I remember being in like middle school and high school, which was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago. But kids being like, oh, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a YouTuber. And like, what?
Well, we're remodeling that teen center with the Boys and Girls Club. Like, the podcast studio is a huge part of that.
Sweet.
Like creating that thing a lot, and it's vodcast now. It's like we're on the radio here terrestrially because I started in this industry 20 years ago.
Yeah,
like we do a vodcast now every single day. You go to facebook.com/talkabq. We're here in front of your faces talking to you.
Yeah,
it's a whole nother world. Which, by the way, I'm not saying I'm oppo it. I'm not familiar with the personalities.
Yeah.
What you notice, and especially based off what you're saying too, is a lot of the people, like you take Jim Rome, for example. He's got a live stream.
Jim Rome.
Yes. He got a live stream on X that goes with his radio show. You got to get other people to run it. I mean, if you're really a grinder, you can sit there and focus on your radio audience and your digital audience. But it works a lot better if you actively have somebody else that's posting clips, that's, keeping things going. It's too hard to do both.
Like a producer?
Not just a producer. They have multiple producers. Like Heisey Nat, he's got 10 producers. Mr. Beast got multiple producers. Like the most popular streamers.
Oh.
I mean, they have a whole team.
Well, that's the Pat McAfee did it. Hey, we're going to run this long, so can you take this just commercial up in the hour? That was the Pat McAfee thing. So whenever he started, it was him and 10 of his buddies who all now had points in the stuff that he sold, so they all made out.
Yeah.
But it was, hey, the social media thing, hey, the live reaction thing, hey, the whatever. And then they went through it, and then whenever he was eventually able to sell to, I think his first deal was
Twitch or something like that.
No, it was a big gambling website, whatever it was. So whenever one of them paid him, that was it. They all made off like gangbusters.
Yeah.
And I mean, but they all do that. For real, if you go way, way back, David Letterman.
Yes.
So David Letterman started the whole thing where
and
it
his
was
teeth.
Yes, his teeth. What he doesn't.
Pat McAfee with FanDuel, right?
FanDuel, yeah, that's right.
Good note. But yeah, that's what and then that contract, got bought out from I think it was YouTube only at the time or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it went from YouTube
over to ESPN.
Well, sort of. They had a pit stop with the Spotify deal to where that was
I forgot about
that. That was the lone one. And then to ESPN, and then they opened it up to everything, blah, blah, blah. And now he's, Disney proper, college football, this, that. And he returned to
85 million a year.
how much?
85 million for 5 years. His ESPN deal.
Good work. But it's
We're
his
in the
company,
money.
right? It's not to him.
It just says Pat McAfee's ESPN contract.
Oh, okay. Well, he might. I mean, anything could have evolved, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's what it was originally. Conan O'Brien did this for a long time too.
Yeah.
Whenever he got fired from NBC, he traveled the country and his whatever can't not TV tour or whatever. And it was the same thing where all that money went towards his. Taylor Swift does it. It's not a unique thing.
Yeah, no.
It's just the scale of it. It's all Joe Rogan does it. It's the scale of it to where it's all what you got coming in. And the podcast one, Howard Stern, obviously, but guys like Mark Maron, they superset the path for that.
I have all the true crime podcasters.
Well, that's a whole other thing too, because that's just like giving drugs to addicts.
My mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to put any work into those.
Who's that guy's name that gets all the people in the car? Is it James Corbin?
Oh, James Corden. Yeah, it's that idiot.
Corden.
Yeah.
But that was a different one though, because that was paid for by CBS.
Yeah.
The
car karaoke or something like that.
Yeah, the car karaoke and stuff. So many things that you got to add video. It's getting to that point where you have to add video.
Have to.
Unless you're a Dan Bongino or something like that. Where
Then you don't have to. I would not recommend adding anything. But
Does he have video?
he does. He does. Yeah.
Yeah. I would think he does. That's a weird looking dude. Like, I'm not trying to be rude about his appearance.
He was talking the other day about having like this big birthday bash, and his wife sent him he was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be a rager." Dude, you don't.
Do we have the same birthday?
He's Fred Slow, and is Fred really Dan Bongino?
Dan Bongino definitely does not look how he sounds.
No, not at all.
I don't know. People that do zero fades are weird to me. Like as an adult,
I always do a 1.
yeah, like at least do a 1.
Yeah,
like
mine's always a 1 with my barber.
I mean, his hairline, they give it right. His hairline's kind of far back. Your hairline goes back like that. You got to lighten up the cut so it doesn't pop as
Your
hard.
hairline's off sides. Your hairline's off sides.
Since I turned 40, my hair is super light. In color only. I have the grayest head of hair of any human being I've ever met.
I've started seeing white and gray hairs pop up
On my head?
on my head.
No way.
Yeah, since I started working at Cumulus.
I was
Actually,
going to say,
I'm joking.
hopefully mine's not coming around. We do run a big, you do run a lot of stuff. So I was like, if you got a gray hair, with track, you'd have a pass.
I
name them actually after every person that I think causes them. So there's a lot of Isaiah Johnsons.
Did you get Did you get ousted as the cursed president yet?
No, not yet. Can't wait for that day to happen.
What? Why are you saying?
My term as cursed president will be up on December 31st as soon as the clock hits midnight.
Right after you blue sky it?
After that's my last act as cursed president is putting this on blue sky. We're having elections right now, actually.
I'm putting an official radio decree out there, okay?
Uh-huh.
December the 29th, New Mexico Runners Soccer.
Yeah.
2 days before
my term's up.
Your term is up. That needs to be your going away party.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Come
We need to talk to Andres about that, huh?
You know what? Consider it handled. Whatever the details are. But that's what you need. One last hurrah for the cursies, which is what I assume you call each other.
I don't know.
Cursives.
The cursives. We had a group for kids below 13 that was free memberships and all that, and for a while called the Cursitos.
It costs money to be in the curse?
It does. And it
how much money does it cost?
This year it's $30 for a membership, and it's $300 for a lifetime membership.
Do I get a scarf?
You get a scarf. You get discounts at different places that have become our sponsors. So Santa Fe Brewington, Canale, Tully's, Italian Market, just to name a few.
Do I have to present anything, or can I just say
you download the Chant app in the iOS and Apple stores and all that fun stuff, and it actually has your membership card on there. So after COVID, we switched to contactless. So elections are going on right now. We got 2 people running for president at the moment. My current vice president.
Will you wrap this up so we can wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Just cut me
You
off.
got any pardon? You got any pardons you're going to do before you leave
Yeah,
office?
good
It'd be
question.
fantastic pardons, the greatest pardons. You had so many pardons. Some
Mhm.
say those are the greatest
New
pardons.
Mexico Soul, you are pardoned.
The Albuquerque Soul pardon.
You're good.
So good. Carlos Tenorio, final words.
Happy to be here as always. Can't wait for Lobo Talk and can't wait to see everyone at the pit tomorrow. And happy holidays, unless I'm not on anytime soon.
Nobody missed Van today. Isaiah, final words.
Fans out here.
Lobos going to the Mountain West Conference Championship game.
Oh yeah.
In every sport,
Yes.
there's the Mountain West is booty. Lobo talks after us. Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.
See you later, birthday.
Nice.